Hi, my name's Marie and I'm an educator at Crystal Bridges. In this Create Together video, we'll explore printmaking, answering questions like what is a print and what materials can you use for printmaking. To begin, we'll look at a work from the Crystal Bridges collection and use it to inspire our own art making at home. So gather your group together and get ready to start your own collaborative studio. For inspiration today, we'll be looking at one of Clinton J. Hill's works entitled Theme 1, Variation 3. Take a moment to look closely at this image. This work was made using a technique called printmaking. Printmaking is a process where you can make multiples of a design using a template. Here, the artist made a template with a carved wooden surface. Using ink, this wooden design was stamped again and again to create many near-identical images to the one you see here. Hill used a carved wooden surface to print his work, but prints can also be made using everyday items. Think of your fingerprint. If you put ink on your finger, you could stamp your fingerprint multiple times and create almost the same design. What other materials could you use to make a print? Today we are going to experiment with found items to make prints and collaborate to design a printed tapestry.
You can pause this video or scroll back to any step if you need to.
Find these materials in your kit: colored cardstock, black printing ink, a brayer, blue styrofoam tray, and fabric. Find these materials at home: corrugated cardboard, bubble wrap, cut fruit or vegetables, flowers, or leaves. Collect everyday items from around your home that you can use to create a print. Choose materials with interesting textures and patterns that can be thrown away or easily washed. Squeeze a small amount of black printing ink onto the blue styrofoam tray. Careful, you won't need as much as you think. Use a brayer to evenly spread the ink out on the tray. You should start to hear a sizzling or cracking sound while rolling it. Use the brayer to roll ink onto items like corrugated cardboard or bubble wrap. If you use materials like flowers, leaves, or cut fruit and vegetables, place them directly onto the styrofoam tray to coat one side with ink. Use the colored cardstock to practice making prints with these found materials. Press your object firmly onto the cardstock with the ink-coated side facing down. Examine the prints you've made. What objects print well? What objects do not? Continue to experiment by repeating steps 1 through 5 as needed. Each person in your group can choose a couple items that create interesting prints. Work together using those materials to print a design on the piece of fabric. Use repeated shapes to create patterns. When you have finished printing, wash the ink off your brayer and blue tray in the sink. Then, let your printed tapestry dry overnight. When the ink is dry, find a place to display your work. Ask others to guess what kind of objects might have made the shapes printed on your tapestry. Then, share your art with us on social media using the hashtag #CreateTogetherKit and have fun making prints. If you want to see other works in the collection, take a look at Ursula von Ruydingsvard's Unraveling. Imagine if you could create a print using this sculpture. What kind of design would it make? How would the image look compared to Clinton J. Hill's print? Talk about these questions with your group and feel free to explore more printmaking.